welcome to another episode of Merry Games with you. Today we are looking at Haldor. Who is he? What does he do? How do we find him? And what we can do once we find him? These are the questions we will be answering today. So, question number 1. Who is he? Haldor is a Dverger, which is basically the Norse word for dwarf. He has blue skin, a white beard and locks, wears a hooded brown cloak, a gold belt and a cape. He is someone we want to find relatively early in the game if we can. Finding him makes our lives in the game so much easier. This is because he is Valheim's trader or merchant, and he is the only way we can get certain items in the game. Question number 2. What does he do? He provides us with some very useful items that we really do not want to do without. He sells the Dverger Circlet, the Megingjord, the fishing rod, fishing bait, egg, thunderstone, Ymir Flesh and the Yule Hat. These items can be bought using coins. Coins can be obtained by killing trolls in the Black Forest biome, or killing foolings in the Plains biome, or finding them in chests in various dungeons or structures in the game. You can also sell valuables like the ruby, amber pearl, and the silver necklace to Haldor for coins. They don't have many other uses besides this, or making decorations for your base. On the screen, you will see the prices for each item listed. Pause to view the list if you wish to do so. The Dverger Circlet costs 620 coins. It is worn on the head to provide light, and it uses the helmet slot. A very useful item indeed inside dungeons that are very dark or in the Black Forest at night. The Megingjord is 950 coins. The Megingjord is a belt that increases the weight your character can carry by 100. It uses the accessory slot. So if you decide to use the wishbone, for example, the Megingjord will be unequipped and replaced by the wishbone. It is important to remember this, as you may suddenly find yourself overburdened and unable to move when switching the belt out for something else. The fishing rod is 350 coins. The fishing bait is 10 coins for 20 pieces, so you will probably want to buy more than one. The fishing rod and fishing bait allows you to get hold of fish as a food, at least in larger quantities than those you just find lying around by the water's edge. This bait catches only the basic fish like perch and pike, but it can be used in combination with a trophy to make different kinds of bait at the cauldron. For example, 20 fishing bait and 1 troll trophy will make mossy fishing bait. This bait catches trollfish. The egg is 1,500 coins. The egg is both a food and an item to obtain a hen. Egg can be used in cauldron to make a cooked egg or mushroom omelette. To get a hen, the egg needs to be placed near a heat source, and it will eventually hatch into a chicken. Chicken meat makes honey glazed chicken, the best food in the game at this point to boost HP. You will probably want to buy more than one egg if you have the coins. The thunderstone is 50 coins. The thunderstone is needed to make the obliterator. In the obliterator, we can exchange various items for coal. For example, 1 troll trophy will give 1 coal, or 5 wood will give you 1 coal. This is not exactly useful, as there are easier ways to get coal. However, rubbish starts to pile up after a while, and there's no other way to get rid of it except dig a hole and bury it. Ymir Flesh is 130 coins. Ymir Flesh is used to craft higher tier equipment like the Frostner and the Iron Sledge. I would make the Frostner as it is very useful. Lastly, the Yule Hat is 100 coins. The Yule Hat is merely cosmetic, but it is something fun to wear. I'm sure more items are likely to be added in the future, as we are looking forward to the Ashlands update. Okay, we have been talking a lot about what Haldor sells. It is time for question number 3. How do we find him? Well, we know he's in the Black Forest. We are also told by Fandom Wiki that he's at least 1,500 meters or 4,921 feet away from the center of the world, which is where the stones are, and that there are 10 possible locations for each world seed. I would have to assume that means they are likely to be mostly well spread out. So, the first thing I would do is to make sure he's not in any of the Black Forest on the starter island if it happens to be a huge island. Next, I would go looking for the Elder. He needs to be found anyway. You can find rune stones outside towers in the Black Forest or inside burial chambers that will give you the location of the Elder on your map when you click on them. When you have found the Elder, search the Black Forest nearby. There's a good chance he's there. For Merry, this time, the merchant is on the same island as the Elder. In fact, it is only one island distance away. But this second island is huge. As you can see, the stones are to the south on the map. The Elder is in the northernmost part of the second island to the north, and the merchant is just to the west of the Elder, a distance away. I have found the merchant on the same island as the Elder several times. If not, take your craft and sail around the starter island and along the coastlines of nearby islands within a circle that includes the Elder. Follow the coastlines. If the merchant is within about 453 meters of the shoreline, the bag icon of the merchant should pop up. If it doesn't pop up, get down and explore to make sure. Remember to do this only during the daytime, when it is safer if you are still new to the game. I believe there should be a merchant within this range. The merchant should be within 1 to 3 islands from the start if it is at least 1,500 meters away. Do not sail in a straight line away from the center of the world. There is a high chance you will miss the merchant that is nearest to the center of the world, and you could spend an even longer time looking for him. Search for the merchant in ever-expanding circles. However, I am confident you will find him within the first one. You will know you have found him when you see a short dwarf near a large tent with various paraphernalia like swords, shields, and other valuable items in barrels or crates, and a huge logs called Haldor. There will also be a shimmering dome of light that surrounds the whole encampment, and 4 small runestones located on its edges. This is the safe zone. No mobs can enter this area, and the area cannot be terraformed or destroyed. So, what do we do when we find him? Besides buying whatever we need from him, the first thing you should do is make a small safe house to put your portal in. There's a high chance you'll want to come back here again, and you don't want to waste time doing so. I recommend building the safe house on the very edge of Haldor's encampment. Use your hoe on the outside of the safe zone to raise dirt, or your pickaxe to dig out an area for this safe house. And your entrance to your safe house should be through Haldor's encampment. You can also use core wood that is available in the Black Forest, and is much stronger than wood or a combination of both to build your hut. By making the entrance to your hut facing the encampment, mobs will not be able to enter. Place all the necessary comforts you see fit, like a campfire, in addition to a portal. You could also place a sitting log. Since Haldor's encampment is in a safe zone, this means you can run here to escape mobs if needed, or drag them here to fight. How the troll turns around as soon as Merry enters the zone, but turns back to fight as soon as she exits? This is an opportunity. If you are at a low level, this may be a good way to fight the troll, as it provides some sanctuary till you recover. You can use the fire beside Haldor and sit down under his tent, giving level 4 comfort to regenerate and have 11 minutes of rest effect. You could use the safe house you made to get the same results. Even the drakes from the mountain biome that spawned here for the Cold Wind Blows in the Mountains event lose interest once Merry entered the safe zone and went off to find the troll lurking nearby. This safe zone is a very handy spot to have. Well, thanks for staying to the end. Smash that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss my next video. See you next time!